Hello, I'm Sadie Ward, and I'm here to speak on why Sara Zewde would be an awesome speaker for our Equity and Design series this fall. Sara is a landscape designer, urbanist, and public artist that grew up in Louisiana and was greatly impacted by Hurricane Katrina. This set her on her path of architectural landscape as she realized it was a discipline that addresses cultural, political, ecological, and aesthetic challenges all at once. Sara continually challenges what landscape architecture can and could be. Landscape architecture is about people shaping the land, and Sara comments that the built landscape makes people feel like they belong or don't belong in the world. So she raises the question, how does architectural landscape erase or tell history? And because of this question, Sara puts everything into context. There's a historical mistrust of architects just getting rid of something to put something new in its place. So Sara promotes that you must understand the particular cultural, political, and ecological context to understand a design. So what does context mean in practice? A great example of this is the Genesee Streetscape. Genesee Street was settled by people who were formerly enslaved and then freed in the late 1860s. Fast forward to modern times when there's talks of redesigning this area through the process of gentrification. The civil engineers on the project suggested just a plaque to commemorate the history of the space. But Sara, through firsthand historical research, proposed a series of concrete facades with built-in seating that evoked the porches of the area's original shotgun-style homes. So this streetscape creates memory, and a feeling of the past is always present in how it has shaped us today. It doesn't just erase it and just put a plaque in its place to remember it. In addition to context, community involvement design defines Sara Zewde's process. Traditional design would separate design excellence and robust community feedback, but Sara Zewde embeds feedback as a continuous loop in her design process. A prime example of her community engagement is the Mander Recreation Center. She knew that block parties were important to the community, so she held a block party with a barbecue that transformed into a brainstorming session. 6 groups represented a visual layout of what was important in the park space. The firm then formalized these themes, and this resulted in a memory plan to guide the decision process for the project moving forward. And no design process should look the same, so we're going to jump to Africatown, Seattle, where she held community ciphers to mobilize and inspire people to get involved in the space, as people wanted to reclaim this corner of 23rd and Union, which was considered the ground zero of gentrification in Seattle. So the community developed the idea of an outdoor living room. The project hired incarcerated men to help build the concrete pieces of the living room, while 300 people from the neighborhood came out to paint the space. The opening event was called the Reunion on Union, where Sara herself organized a 300-person potluck, which she said she never thought she'd do as a landscape architect, but she knew it was important to celebrate taking back the corner. Then let's jump to Graffiti Pier in Philadelphia. This was a historic coal factory that fell into disuse and became a graffiti site. The company that owned the land decided to make it open to the public because it was too much of a liability to keep it private, which was met with contention by the graffiti artists who wanted to keep it a secluded thing. So Sara met with the graffiti artists one-on-one, anonymously, and in bars. This couch is one of the bars that she frequented in this process. And she says that engagement itself is a design process. So the engagement for each project has to be different, because Sara's process represents the intersectionality between culture, place, memory, and engagement. And she wants to continually push the potential of what landscape architecture can and could be. And I would love to hear her speak directly about her process in the Fall Design and Equity Speaker Series. Thank you so much.